Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy. And so the boy climbed up her trunk and gathered her apples and carried them away. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and he was sad. One day, the boy came back and the tree said, "Come, boy, climb on my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy. I am too busy to climb a life. I want a house to keep me warm. I want a wife and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house. This forest is my house, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time. The tree was sad. One day, the boy came back and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and play. I am too old and sad to play. I want a boat to take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "I have no boat. But you may cut off my trunk and build a boat. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "I am sorry. I have nothing to give you. I have no corn. My teeth are too weak for apples. My branches are I can't swing on them. I am too old to swing on branches. My trunk is gone. You cannot climb on it. I am too old to climb on trunks. I'm sorry, but I have nothing left to give you. I am just a little stuck. I'm sorry. I don't need much now. Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well, you won't stop this before sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down. Sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. I'm going to tell you a story about Angelina Ballerina. Angelina loved to dance more than anything in the world. She danced all the time and she danced everywhere. Angelina's mother was always calling to her, "Angelina, it's time to clean your room now." But Angelina didn't want to clean her room. Angelina only wanted to dance. One night, Angelina even danced in her dreams. She wore a big tutu and pretty pink ballet slippers. She jumped and leaped across a big stage. When Angelina woke up, she knew she was going to be a real ballerina one day. She was going to make her dream come true. At breakfast, Angelina was doing a side split while eating cereal. "You're going to be late for school, Angelina," shouted her mother. But Angelina didn't care. Angelina only wanted to dance. She danced all the way to school and she danced in every class break. After school, Angelina did a beautiful arabesque in the kitchen and knocked over a pitcher of tea. "Oh, Angelina, your dancing is annoying," shouted her mother. Angelina was sent to her room for some quiet time. The very next day, Angelina's mother gave her a big box. When she opened the box, she found a big tutu and pink ballet slippers inside. She finally got to dance. In ballet class, teacher Lily taught them the 5 ballet positions. Angelina did first position by placing her heels together and her toes out. Angelina did second position position by moving her legs out. Angelina did third position by moving her right leg out and her hands up. Angelina did fourth position by moving her right leg in front of her left leg. Finally, Angelina did fifth position by moving both her legs and bringing her hands up. They practiced again and again. Angelina became annoyed. She wanted to twirl and leap, not warm up. She was mad. This wasn't the dancing she dreamed of. Teacher Lily talked to Angelina after class. She said being a ballerina takes lots of hard work and patience. The next time Angelina got mad, she closed her eyes and remembered her dream. She wanted to dance across a big stage. So she practiced all the time, and she practiced everywhere. After lots and lots of practice, her dream was coming true. She was going to dance as the Sugar Plum Fairy in the famous ballet with the Nutcracker. She was nervous and excited for the first performance. The show was about to begin. The lights went down, and the ballerina started to dance. It was finally Angelina's turn on stage. At the end of the show, all the dancers came to the stage and bowed. Angelina felt so happy she never wanted to stop dancing. The end. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to tell you a story about a Telugu legend. Long ago, there were two suns but no moon or stars in the sky. Each day, one sun would travel across the sky from east to west. When one was down, other was up. They took turns bringing light and warmth to the earth. The little people were very hot. They couldn't stand the heat anymore. One day, they looked for help at the leader's house.
Plants and animals are dying. We don't have food to eat,
said the man. Oh, the water begins to dry up. We don't have water to drink, said the woman.
You have to do something, please,
they all said. The leader came up with an idea. He sent two red warriors to shoot the sun. They carried bows and arrows on their backs, and put some tangerines in their bags. Off they went. As they walked, they dropped the seed of the tangerines that they ate on the road. One warrior said,
Drop, we drop the seed.
The other said,
They will become trees and guide us home.
They also sang a Telugu warrior song to cheer themselves up.
Yaku senani, bitu pahonua, kata ipinawa.
Finally, they arrived in the east. They poured the bows to shoot the sun. Luckily, the sun was shut and bleeding. The blood spilled all over the sky. But one warrior was poisoned by the blood and lost his life. The other warrior who finished the task hated home. He was an elderly man. As he walked along the tangerine trees that had been planted long ago, he sang the warrior song. Yaku senani, bitu pahonua, kata ipinawa. The dead sun turned into a white room, and the blood drops became shiny stars. Since then, there have been days and nights, and the people no longer suffer with only hot days. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Andra. Today I will tell you a story. The Little Bird and the Lion. The Little Bird and the Lion. Once upon a time, was a little bird flying in the sky. The little bird looked down and saw a lion. The lion's tail was green. The little bird was surprised. She had never seen a lion with a green tail. So she flew down and asked, "Lion, lion, why is your tail so green?" But the lion could not understand the little bird. So he just smiled and kept walking. The little bird followed the lion. The lion walked over to a berry patch and ate some red berries. The little bird ate some red berries too. That night, the lion walked back to his cave to sleep. The little bird wanted to see the lion's green tail again. So she made a nest next to the lion's cave and went to sleep. The next day, the lion came out of his cave, but his tail not green. It was red, red like the red berries. The little bird flew down and asked, "Lion, lion, why is your tail so red?" But the lion could not understand the little bird, so he just smiled and kept walking. The little bird followed the lion. The lion walked over to a blue lake and played in the water. The little bird played in the blue water too. That night, the lion walked back to his cave to sleep. The little bird flew to her nest and wondered what color the lion's tail would be the next day. The next day, the lion came out of his cave, but his tail not red. It was blue, blue like the blue lake. The little bird flew down and asked, "Lion, lion, why is your tail so blue?" But the lion could not understand the little bird, so he just smiled and kept walking. The little bird followed the lion. The lion walked over to a patch of orange flowers and smelled it. The little bird smelled the orange flowers too. They smelled so good. She was almost happy, but the little bird still sad because she did not know why the lion's tail was changing color. That night, there was big storm, lightning, thunder. The little bird next broke. She was very scared. The lion went outside. He saved the little bird. He brought her back into his cave. The little bird looked at the cave and was surprised. The wall of the cave had beautiful paintings of green field, red berries, and a blue lake. The lion dipped his tail into a cave orange paint and painted orange flowers. The next day, the lion's tail was orange like the orange flowers. The little bird knew why. She was so happy. The end. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'll tell you a story. The Monkey and the Crocodile. Once, there was a monkey who lived down in the tree. His favorite thing to do was to tease a crocodile in the river below. However, the monkey did not know that the crocodile wanted to eat him. Actually, he wanted to eat his heart. Every day, the crocodile was swimming by the tree. The monkey would tease him and then run away. One day, the crocodile's mother said, "What's wrong with you? You are always so sad." The crocodile said, "Well, it is a monkey. I want to eat his heart, but he won't come down from his tree." "Have you tried asking him to come down?" the sad crocodile said. "Every day I swim by the tree, and the monkey just teases me." "Have you tried crocodile tears?" his mother asked. "What are crocodile tears?" "Crocodile tears. The tears you cry to get a brother in trouble." I see," he said. The next day, the crocodile swam by the tree again. Before he knew it, the monkey threw something and hit crocodile in his face. Shoo, 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 cold. Ha 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 ha! Thinking of his crocodile tears,
he started to cry. Surprised, the monkey said, "Stop! Stop! Why are you crying? I did not hurt that hard." The crocodile said, "Every day I come here, you just tease me. I just want to ask you a question." The monkey said, "Oh, what's the question?" With a side grin, the crocodile asked, "Hee. Will you come to my house for dinner?" The monkey thought for a moment, then said, "Oh, you are so nice, of course." And with that, the monkey jumped down to the crocodile's back. The crocodile swam to the middle of the river, then said,
"Ha, sea monkey, I just want to eat your heart."
The monkey said, "Oh, I wish you told me about that before. I left my heart back in the tree. If you want it, I have to go get it."
Okay, but be fast.
The crocodile swam back to the river bank. The monkey said, "Wait here," then jumped out into the forest and never came back. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My story is The Three Bleak Goats. Once upon a time, there were 3 bleak goats. Their names were all brothers. They lived in a valley with very little grass, and they were hungry. They wanted to go up the hillside to a meadow full of grass, where they could eat and get fat. But on the way up, there was a bridge over a rushing river, and under the bridge lived a tree who was very mean and ugly. First, the youngest bleak goat decided to cross the bridge. Trip, trap, went the bridge. "Who's that tripping over my bridge?" roared the troll. "Oh, it's only I, the tiniest bleak goat, and I'm going to the meadow to make myself fat." "No, you're not, for I'm coming to gobble you up." "Oh, please don't take me. I'm too little that I am. Wait till the second bleak goat. He's much bigger." "Well then, be off with you." Little later, the second bleak goat decided to cross the bridge. Trip, trap, went the bridge. "Who's that tripping over my bridge?" roared the troll. It's only I, the second bleak goat, and I'm going to the meadow to make myself fat." "No, you're not, for I'm coming to gobble you up." "Oh, please don't take me. I'm too little. Wait till the third bleak goat. He's much bigger." "Very well, be off with you," said the troll. Then up climbed the third bleak goat. Trip, trap, went the bridge. The third bleak goat got so heavy that the bridge creaked and groaned under him. "Who's that tripping over my bridge?" roared the troll. "It is I, the big bleak goat. Now I'm coming to gobble you up." "Well, come along. I've got 2 horns and 4 hard hooves. See what you can do." So up climbed the mean ugly troll, and the big bleak goat butted him with his horns and trampled him with his tossed him over the bridge into the rushing river. Then he went up the hillside to join his brothers. In the meadow, the 3 billy goats got so fat that they could hardly walk home again. They are probably dead yet. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story.
Good morning, teachers. My name is Ada. My number is 8. Today, my topic is it tasted delicious. It tasted delicious. Jen was overtired yesterday and got up late. She was hungry, but there was nothing to eat. So she went to the steakhouse near her home. Jen made it and sit down at the table. We even made our special for tonight is steak with mushroom sauce, said the waiter. That sounds good to me, said Jen. Can I have the steak with mushroom sauce and a cup of coffee, please? In a couple of minutes, the waiter ordered Jen a steak, some French fries, a bowl of salad, and a cup of coffee. Oh, it smells very great, Jen said, and started to eat. A few minutes later, the waiter ordered him some more coffee and asked her, how is the food? Is everything okay? Jen said, your steak tastes delicious, but I'm still very hungry. Can you bring me another steak and I can ask the menu, please? Jen ordered 4 more steaks and 5 pieces of cheesecake. She drank 3 cups of coffee too. When she was done, Jen felt happy and was not hungry anymore. The waiter was surprised to see such a young woman eat so much food. Rather, he asked her, anything else, madam? No thanks, I'm done. Can you give me the beer, please? Said Jen. The waiter bought her a beer. It came to $2,600. Jen looked in her bag. Oh, no! She forgot to bring her purse. She had no money to pay the bill. The waiter took her to the kitchen. He showed the money the plates, pots, and the cups in the sink. They looked and smelled disgusting. Jen had to wash them all to pay for a meal. It came to one full day to wash all of the dishes and the cups. She will never forget that meal. Thank you for listening.
5 fingers, 5 fingers. Once upon a time, there were 5 fingers who were best friends. Their names were Miss Pinky, Miss Ring, Sir Middle, Mrs. Index, and Mr. Song. They did everything together. They went to school together, ate together, played together, and even stayed together. One day, Sir Middle saw that Mr. Song was different from the rest of them. He whispered to Miss Green and Mrs. Index to exclude Mr. Song because he was shorter, fatter, and lived so far away from all of them. While Miss Green and Mrs. Index agreed with Mr. Middle, but Miss Pinky felt very uncomfortable because she didn't want to be excluded herself. She decided to go along with it. When Mr. Song came along to play with them, Sir Middle quickly rejected, saying, Mr. Song, you can play with us. We don't want to be your friends anymore. But why? Asked Mr. Song has a sadness voice. Well, because you are not like us. You are short, fat, and ugly, and you live so far away, replied Miss B. But Mrs. Index, we were so close, and I love you guys, says Mr. Song. Mr. Song is very sad, but doesn't know what to do, so he goes home crying. And then they decided to go and play their favorite drawing game, but as they tried to pick up the crayon, oh no! They found they couldn't pick up the crayon with only the four of them. They tried and they tried. They couldn't get it. Just then, the teacher called for lunch. It's their favorite food, Asian noodles. What are you eat noodles with? Chopsticks. Tired, hungry, and bored, the fingers still to sink. Did they do the right thing? Even though he was different, but he played a very important role in their friendship. Start to sink. They decided to over to see Mr. Song, apologize and invite him back to play with them. Thank you for your listen.
Hello everybody, my name is Jen. There is a story about an old man and noisy house. Too noisy. Once there was old man. He lived in old house. This house is too noisy, said the old man. The door creaked, the floor squeaked, and the window went bum, bum, bum. One day, the old man took his cane up. He went to see a very wise lady. My house is too noisy, said the old man. What can I do? The lady said, take this goat. The goat will live with you in your house. The old man took the goat to his house. The goat went meh, meh. It broke her chair on its horns. Crash! So the next day, the old man went back to the lady. My house is still too noisy, he said. So the wise lady gave him a cow to take to his house. The cow went moo, moo. The goat went meh, meh. The old man threw his hand. The next day, the old man went back to the lady. My house is still too noisy, he said. So the wise lady gave him a donkey to take to his house. The donkey went ee-aw, ee-aw. The cow went moo, moo. The goat went meh, meh. The old man wailed, it is too noisy. So the next day, the lady came to his house. She said, open the door. Let out the goat, the cow, and the donkey. The old man did. And what do you know? The house was quiet now. And the old man went to bed and slept all day long. There is my story. story. Thank you.
4号，OK，那我们还是让他演说，他不计分。OK，我们还是因为他表演到了，那这是他的那个，OK，我们还是让他演说，好，不计分，谢谢。
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to tell you a story. The Fox and the Crow. Once upon a time, a crow was perched on a branch, holding a piece of cheese in his beak. The fox looked up and saw him. His tummy rumbled. He thought to himself, I do love a nice bit of cheese. Now, the crafty fox cooked a smell of delicious cheese. Walked up to the shop and said, Good day, little Mr. Crow. How well you look today. I have never seen such a silky set of feathers. And what a beautiful body. So luscious and dark. If all the other animals knew. Having said that, you have a terrible voice. I would have called you the most beautiful and graceful of all the birds in the world. But it can be true what they say. I'm sure that your voice must be just as good as your looks. If only I could hear it. The crow flattered to hear such tender words. Surely this the desire to show off his voice. He opened his beak, and in that very moment, the cheese fell out. Thank you, the fox said, and quickly grabbed the cheese. That's just what I wanted. In the future, if somebody flatters you, think hard before you trust them. Thank you.
Good morning, dear teachers. Today I'm going to tell you a well-known story from Greek mythology. It's called Midas Touch. Midas Touch. King Midas was a very rich king. He lived in a giant castle with his lovely golden-haired daughter, Marigold. His castle was built with beautiful and expensive things. There was also a gorgeous flower garden where white lilies and cinnamon roses grew. King Midas also enjoyed collecting gold coins. Every day he would count the huge piles of gold again and again. His daughter took a bunch of flowers who said that he wished they were as golden as they looked. Then they were really worth keeping. One day, while Midas was outside in his garden counting his coins, he saw an old man resting behind a bush. He noticed the man and knew he was the servant of Dionysus, the god of wine. Midas thought it would be a great chance if he could do some very to him. So he took special care of the servant for a week before he went back to his master, Dionysus. As you might have expected, Dionysus did reward Midas for his kindness by giving him one wish. Midas thought for a simple 1 second and wished that everything he touched would turn to gold. Dionysus frowned and asked if he was really sure. But Midas replied, yes. Dionysus finally granted his wish. Midas ran around the castle, touching the walls, the furniture, and the sparrow roses. They all turned to gold. Then he sat down and began to eat lunch. But only found he couldn't eat the meal, because he got turned to gold too. Suddenly, his daughter ran to him, complaining of hers had turned gold and didn't smell sweet anymore. Midas tried to explain to her. This girl, his beloved daughter, had turned to gold and was too. He was terribly upset and really grateful. He went back to Dionysus and begged him to take away with his golden touch. He said he was deeply sorry to make such a wish. Dionysus looked at him and then agreed. He told him to bathe in the river to wash off his grief and wish. From later on, the only things Midas enjoyed that was gold, but his daughter's golden hair. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.
Good morning, my dear judges. Today, I would like to tell you a story, The Pied Piper. The Pied Piper. But in my version, we have a more interesting ending. Hope you enjoy it. Once upon a time, near a big river in Germany, there was a town called Hamelin. Hamelin always had rats. Usually, the cats ate the rats. No one knows why, but one day they were not 30 rats. They were 30,000. The thousands of big, fat rats ate the cats. Then they ate the people's food. The people went to the man for help. We need 1,000 cats, said one man. We do not have any cats, the mayor said.
We should put poison in the food,
A woman said. We do not have any food, the mayor said. Right at this moment, someone knocked at the door. Who was it? Oh, it was a thin man in white clothes with a gold pipe. I am good at catching rats. I have helped many times. For $1,000, I will help you too. The man was happy. He said, kill the rats and I will give you 50,000. The piper played a song on his pipe. All the rats listened and danced to the music. The dancing rats followed the piper. The piper walked into the big river. The rats could not swim. When they walked into the river, they drowned. The problem was solved. The man was happy, but he did not want to pay the piper. He yelled at the piper, "Go away!" The piper was very angry. He started to play his pipe. This time, all the children in the town danced to the music. As they followed the piper, they transformed into big fat rats and snaked into the mayor's house. They were all over in the mayor's house. You could see them everywhere. They were in the mayor's bed, in the bathtub, on the dining table, on the sofa. Ooh, how terrified he was. No one could help get rid of the rats and no one wanted to help. The mayor deserved it. He regretted about his rudeness and dishonesty. He apologized to the sincerely and paid $1 million to the piper. This seemed to be a happy ending, didn't it? As this small town, as a matter of fact, the Pied Piper was the richest man in the world. He used this same old trick to make billions of dollars. The end. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm number 3. Today I'm going to tell a story. It's called The Midas Touch. The Midas Touch. Long ago, there was a king named Midas. He was the richest man in all the land, but he wanted to be even richer. He loved gold more than anything. In fact, he loved gold more than he loved his daughter, Marigold, who he named after a golden flower. Marigold was a sweet little girl who always kept lying for her father's love. One day, she prayed without complaining, and so God decided to teach her greedy father a lesson. While King Midas was counting all the gold in his treasure, God appeared in front of him. "Who are you?" asked King Midas. "Someone who was over your love all your regular hobby," said God. "Enough gold. Nobody can have enough gold," replied King Midas. "We'll all get our dollar for you," God
placed hand on King's head and said, King Midas, I hereby grant you limitless gold. Then God disappeared. King Midas came out of his shelter, but as he touched the door to close behind him, the door magically turned to gold. Gold! It turned to gold! Not believing what he did, he accidentally touched the wall, and the wall too turned to gold. Gold! Yes, it's gold! Midas ran through his castle and everything inside. Tired and thirsty and hungry, after turning the entire castle to gold, King Midas was ready to eat and drink. But as the goblet were touching his lips, the monster was hurling into the ice. And as the finger touched the loaf of bread, it became a golden brick. Miracle not the pillar of her father's face. Father, strong, she dropped her arm of her brother, but the moment she touched him, she returned into a golden statue. King Midas cried out, No! Oh, Lord, this blessing is a curse! Oh, God, have pity on me. Finally, God appeared again before him. King Midas promised to share his gift with the poor, thinking now that his daughter was more important to him than all the gold in the world. He had learned his lesson, so God took pity on him. He took him to a river, washing the flakes of gold off his body. Then he raced back to the castle. Miracle! Miracle! Miracle rushed out to meet him and embraced her father. She finally got what she prayed for. My story ends here. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to tell you a story called Pig's Paradise. Pig's Paradise. There once was a pig farmer named Sam. Sam had raised pigs for more than 20 years in Linkou District in New Taipei. On his farm, he kept almost 160 pigs at the same time. One day, a pig broker came to a pig farm to buy pigs. Sam got a burlap bag ready to catch a pig. He will use the burlap bag to cover a pig's head, and the pig broker will grab the pig's tail tightly to get the struggling pig. While Sam and the pig broker were chasing the big fat pig, all the pigs on the pig farm were screaming and crying and trying to run away. They wanted to stay in the pig pen because they all knew that once they were out of the pig pen, there's no way back. After a long time chasing pigs, Sam pushed Pig and said, How about this one? Pig was staring at Sam and seemed to say, Don't push me! I can walk by myself. When Pig walked out of the pig pen, she glanced at the blue sky for the first time in her life. She also knew it would be the last time. The pig girl said, Okay, this one. Then he gave money to Sam. Sam sat on the sofa counting the money and fell asleep. In his dream, he came to his slaughterhouse. He saw Pig. It's so cold and so scary here, said Pig. A butcher poked Pig with an electric shock and said, Walk faster, faster. Why did you poke me with that terrible thing? Pig said in pain. We don't have all to take care of you, said the butcher. Pig saw a woman with a big sharp knife. She asked trembling, Do you really want to kill me? It's not me, it's the people who want to eat pork, the butcher answered sharply. Pig cried out, Sam! Then Sam woke up. He raced to his slaughterhouse at 3 o'clock in the morning. He wanted
the boy back his pig, but it was too late. He only found unpicked food. Sam, almost went crazy with the law. He went home and threw all the food to meat or fish. Then he became a vegetarian. In 2009, Sam gave up raising pigs for money. Since then, he has kept the rest of his pigs as pets. He even feeds all of his pet pigs with vegetarian food because he believes that vegetarian food is good for him and his pet pigs. Sam named his farm Pig's Paradise, a place where his pet pigs can live and play for the rest of their lives. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm number 5. Today my story is The Little Boy and the Star. There is a little boy who lives with his grandpa in a faraway forest. He loves watching everything around him, especially the night sky. The Milky Way interests the boy very much. He likes to sit under a tree and watch a beautiful sky. One clear night, the boy is watching the stars shine as usual. He sees a shooting star in the sky. Suddenly, the star photographs near him. He has never seen a star so close to him. Wow, what is it? He wonders. Ow! Ouch! Says the star in head. Excuse me, are you okay? The boy asks. No! It's my first time doing this. I think I still need more practice, the star answers. First time to do what? What are you? Why are you here? The boy asks. I'm a star from the sky, and I'm looking for something that has been lost for a while, the star answers. What's the face you're looking for? What does it look like? Can I help? The boy asks. Well, I don't know. The only thing I know is that the thing makes me feel warm and happy inside, the star answers. The next night, the boy shows the star a candle. This can make you warm. Is this the thing you're looking for? No, I don't think so. The star answers with disappointment. And the next night, the boy strikes a match in front of the star. Shh! When I do this, it makes me feel warm. The star feels sad, for neither the candle nor the match is the thing it's looking for. Its body starts to darken, little by little, because of its sadness. I wonder what this is, says the boy. His grandpa makes a cup of hot chocolate for him. Here, this will make you feel warm. Grandpa smiles at the boy. On another clear night, the boy makes a cup of hot chocolate for the star. Here, you'll feel warm inside after you have lit. He looks at the star and smiles. The star smiles back at him with joy and starts to shine more brightly. Thank you. I feel warm and happy now. It realizes it has been looking for happiness. It found it with the boy's help. The boy also feels happiness from the star's warm smile. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Yuki. Today, my story is Living God's Group. Living God's Group. There are 3 goals. Little girl likes to jump. Middle-sized girl likes to have fun. And big girl likes to eat birds. There is a big bridge outside of town. A very, very big troll has a home under the bridge. The girls want to go over the bridge to eat some grass. Tip-tap, tip-tap. the bridge. Up jumps the troll. He says, "Hello, girl. I want to eat you up." "Oh, no, no, no," says the little girl. "Here comes a middle-sized goat. He is big and fat and juicy. You want to eat him up?" "Yes," says the troll. "Yes, I do. You may cross the bridge." Middle-sized little goat crosses the bridge. Middle-sized goat looks up. He says, and he is eating some grass. "I can go over the bridge and eat some grass too." Tip-tap, tip-tap. Middle-sized goat gets on the bridge. Up jumps the troll. He says, "Hello, goat. I want to eat you up." "Oh, no, no, no," says the middle-sized goat. Here comes a big goat. He is big and fat and juicy. You want to eat him up?" "Yes," says the troll. "Yes, I do. You may cross the bridge." And tip-tap, tip-tap. Middle-sized goat crosses the bridge. Big goat looks up. Little goat and middle-sized goat are over the bridge. He says, and they are eating some grass. "I can go over the bridge and eat some grass too." Tip-tap, tip-tap. Big goat gets on the bridge. Up jumps the troll. He says, "Hello, goat. I want to eat you up." "Oh, no, no, no," says the big goat. "I want to eat you up." All of a sudden, big goat charges up, up, up goes the troll. Then down, down, down comes the troll. Splash, the troll falls into the water. Whoosh, the river takes the troll far away. Big goat crosses the bridge. The goats have fun in the grass. They eat and eat and eat. Now the bridge is set forever.
Good morning, judges. Today, I would like to tell you a fun story called The Lion Inside. The Lion Inside. In a giant dusty place where the sand sparkled gold, stood a mighty flat rock. And under that rock, in a tiny house, lived the littlest, quietest, meekest brown mouse. He was so very tiny that nobody noticed him ever at all. He was ignored and forgotten. Yes, mouse life was tough. Meanwhile, far above, on top of the rock, times were quite different. It was Lion o'clock, this huge creature. Make sure everyone saw how important he was by how loud he could roar.
"If only I could be more like that,"
thought Mouse. Then, late one dark night, the cleverest thought popped into his head.
"I've got it! What I need is a roar, and life will be nice if I can roar. Yes, I will learn how to roar now."
But, oh my gosh, there was only one beast who could teach him this. But mind making a feast, it felt like the scariest thing he could do. But it was time to take a chance. If you want things to change, you first have to change you. So he made himself brave and set off for the top, hoping not to be dinner. The further he climbed, the closer he got to the slumbering lion on top. Then, at last, as stood on his tipsy toes, he found himself suddenly nose to nose.
"Pardon me, Mr. Lion." "Squeak, Mr. Lion, squeak. Do you think you can teach me your roar?"
Well, a silence befell like that twinkling lamp. Lion opened his eyes. Time slowed right down. Then the lion opened his mouth and let out an eek. The lion was shaking. He spoke, "Oh, a fumble! Don't hurt me!" he whimpered. Well, my goodness, this lion was frightened of mice. "Don't worry, Mouse Pig. I'm your friend. I'm full. Let's act this together. We'll have fun." There was a magical moment for sure. When Mouse didn't feel small anymore. He had found his true voice and learned to speak out. And for that, you don't need to roar or shout. The end. Thank you for listening.
Good morning. My story is The Boy and the Two Birds. A little boy lives with his parents on a magic mountain. There is one place on the mountain that he can't go. A long, colorful ribbon is tied between two trees. The boy's mom warned him to never go past the ribbon, for it is a magic place. No one who goes past the ribbon ever returns. One day, the boy's kite flies behind the ribbon. He wants to get his kite back, for it is a special gift from his mother. So, he walks through the ribbon. Suddenly, he sees a beautiful clearing with a tall tree in the middle. When the boy turns around, he can't find the two trees. He walks forward to search for his kite. Maybe it is stuck in the branches of a tree, he thinks. Me first. A bird with a big mouth cries out from the tree. No! Me first! Cries out another bird with a small mouth. Hello, excuse me, do you see a kite nearby? The boy asks. Tell me who's first, and I'll answer your question, says the big-mouthed bird. Who's first? What do you mean? The boy asks. Tell us which one of us saw you first, cries out the small-mouthed bird. I see. I don't know. I think you both saw me at the same time. The boy responds. No, it was me! Cry out the two birds at the same time. Well, I have an idea. You both close your eyes, then when you open them, I'll tell you the answer. The boy says. The two birds close their eyes and wait impatiently. After a while, the boy says, okay, it's time, open your eyes. The two birds open their eyes, but they can't see the boy anywhere. They start to fly around to find him. After a while, two birds are tired and give up their me-first game. Tell me where my kite is, and I'll answer your question. The birds hear the boy's voice, but try as they might, they can't find where she's hiding. Fine, we'll hid it in the hole in this tree, said the birds, finally giving in. Taking off his grasping jacket, the boy runs to the hole in the tree and takes his kite. Suddenly, the colored ribbon appears before him. That's my way home, he thinks, overjoyed. Running as fast as he can, the boy passes through the ribbon and finally finds his way back home.
golden goose. Once, there were two brothers. The older brother was named Sammy, and the younger brother was Dumpling. Everyone said Sammy was handsome but selfish. Dumpling was not as good looking as his brother, but he had a kind heart. One day, Sammy went into the forest to chop goose. He met an old man who begged and said, "Please give me some bread." Sammy replied, "No, if I give you my food, I might die of hunger." Later, Dumpling also went to the forest for wood chopping. The old man appeared again and asked for food. Dumpling was nice enough to give away his only bread to this old man. "Will you?" said the old man, "and I will give you a gift in return." So the old man gave Dumpling a goose. It had shiny golden feathers. As Dumpling left the forest, a rich woman saw his golden goose. "What's the beautiful goose?" exclaimed the woman. "If only I could have one of its feathers." When she grabbed a feather from the goose, her hand was suddenly stuck to the goose. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't pull her hand off. The rich woman cried out, "Help! Help!" and her servant shook the wooden wrist and asked, "What's wrong with this?" Now the servant's hand was stuck to the woman's wrist. The woman was stuck to the goose. A priest walked by and saw what was happening. He tried to free the servant, but his hand got stuck too. Soon, more passers-by joined them one after another. There were 10 of them in total. They all followed Dumpling through the town. They were pushing, tugging, swinging all the way until they reached near a castle. The princess in the castle was never happy, so the king announced, "Whoever could make his daughter smile, that man to marry her." The princess heard shouting. She rushed through the window and saw a light and followed a man with a golden goose. "What's the matter with them?" She suddenly burst into laughter. The king was surprised to see his daughter cheer up. He thanked Dumpling and allowed him to marry the princess. After the wedding, Dumpling became the new king and lived the beautiful princess happily ever after. Thanks for your listening. Have a nice day.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jack. Today I will tell you a story about Chocho's treasure. Chocho's treasure. One day, Chocho and his good friend Mama came to a forest. When they were rolling and playing in a fountain, "Look, Mama, this is a nest of the dog digging as hard as he can." "Bobo, Bobo, sir, what are you doing?" "I'm looking for treasure. I just remember when I was little I buried some important treasure under the ground. But that has been a long, long time ago. And now I can find that." "Wow, treasure hunting! Wow, it sounds very interesting, Mama. Sir, please exchange your treasure, okay? Please, please." "All right. Warren, please help out." Scratch, 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 scratch. "Bobo, Bobo, I found something. Sir, this is treasure you are thinking about." The shape of this stone is interesting, but it's not my treasure. And the tree where I buried the treasure should be bigger tree than this one. A bigger tree, then it must be here. Scratch, 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 scratch. "Bobo, Bobo, I found that. There is a lot of treasure." Really a lot. However, not a single piece of this treasure is mine. My lap looks like a hat, round, shiny, but that was a long time ago. And now I can find that. I cannot exactly. I'm exhausted. I'm really getting old. The old dog lay down quickly just at that moment.
Cho suddenly wigged his tail. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Bow, bow. Sir, look at her. You are lying down. Is that a big tree for a countdown? Bow, bow. It must be here. Ooh, treasure, treasure, please show up. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. I'm number 11. My story for today is called The Pied Piper of Heaven. Hope you'll like it. The Pied Piper of Heaven. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful town of heaven, bustling with energy and wealth. But about 50 years ago, the people made the town dirty and unclean. They started to throw garbage on the roads outside the houses and everywhere they went. As an outcome, the city was filled with rats. The people of heaven were suffering from diseases spread by rats. Not even the cats were able to control the plague of rats. Giving up, the mayor decided to give a reward of 10 bags of gold to anyone who could help get out the rats. One day, a strange-looking man dressed in strange-looking clothes came to town. He was the Pied Piper. He went to the man and said, "I can help you get out the rats. I can assure you, not a single rat will live in this beautiful town. But I want the 10 gold bags you have promised as price." The mayor had no choice but to agree. Soon, the Pied Piper took out a pipe from his pocket and started playing a very strange tune. In no time, from every nook and corner of the town, all the rats started coming out and following him. He took them to the town river, and all the rats mesmerized by his tune flew into water and drowned. There were voices in the town, big celebrations everywhere. Soon, the Pied Piper went to the mayor to claim his prize money, but the mayor and the people thought that the plague was over and it wouldn't be any more. So they refused to give him the 10 gold bags and asked him to leave. What's so much more than these? I figured on such a bad epidemic and all he cares to be clean and free. I think how to teach these selfish people a lesson. The Pied Piper took out a pipe once again and started playing another different tune. In no time, all the children mesmerized by his music and started following him. He took them to the cave and let them in. He kept on playing the tune until all the children were in. Then he closed the cave with a huge stone. Only 2 children were left outside the cave. One who was hard of hearing. Another got parched with back and could not catch up. They went back to their parents and told them about what happened. The American girl regretted their selfishness and wickedness and asked the Pied Piper for forgiveness. They offered him 20 bags of gold, so the Pied Piper released the children. The people of heaven learned to keep their houses and streets clean, so that no rats will ever infest your town again. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, dear judges. Today, I want to share a story called Run Away from Epicenter. Epicenter are words usually used to describe the central point of a storm or an earthquake. But little did I know at the time that I was at the epicenter of a COVID pandemic spread in the USA. At about the same time last year, my family was living in Seattle, Washington. My father was a visiting scholar. My sister and I attended local school. Picture this. I only understood a few words from the teacher. Isn't it scary? News about the COVID spreading from Asia here was all over TV and internet. But the pandemic in the USA a little later. A famous leader was telling Americans that
Everything is under control.
in Washington, the explosion was in March. Then all Seattle schools were closed. And we started our day routine, Zoom classes. announced that our research was canceled. One last flight was off at that night at 10 a.m. Whoa! My parents had so much things to do within 14 hours. My job was to play in a room, pack up toys, and help empty every single suitcase so that we can wear more days. Maybe you heard ghost Santa by West. Well, let me say, Seattle Airport was just like a ghost town. It was so quiet and deserted that you could even hear a pin drop. On the plane, tragedies could seen of a missile landing site. Some careful passengers wore full-on hazmat suits to protect against the virus. My family were protected face masks, goggles, and gloves. On the plane, passengers involved each other, but directly cleaning their seats, tables, and tablets, and of course, their hands were wiped. I spent 12 hours on the plane without once going to the toilet. But I think it's not too hard because you can lie down and have a good sleep on the whole roll. I do drink some water on the plane, but I always put back the mask as soon as I finish drinking. After a stressful trip, my family finally landed in Taurel. My mom kept saying, "We are home, dears." She seemed relieved once we stepped out of a plane because there's nothing like home, sweet home. Thank you.
Good morning, dear judges. Today, I would like to tell a story titled Bedtime for Kathy. The big hen on the clock was at 12, and the little hen was at 9. It was bedtime for Kathy. Mom said, "It's time for bed. May I have a glass of milk?" "All right." Kathy drank the milk. "Carry me to my room, Daddy," said Kathy. So Dad carried her piggyback to her room. "May I sleep with my teddy bear?" Dad gave her the teddy bear, bent way down to kiss her once and twice. "Good night," he said and closed the door. But sleep didn't come. "I forgot my bedtime story," thought Kathy. So she opened the books, looked at the pictures and words until her eyes grew heavier and heavier. So she snuggled down again. "I'm waiting," thought Kathy. But sleep didn't come. So she began to sing a song about the alphabet. A is for apple pie. B is for bear. C is for crocodile. Crocodile. A crocodile with sharp teeth, terrible claws, and wrinkles all over its back. "Dad! May I have my door opened?" Dad had to open the door. "Good night, sweetie." But sleep didn't come to Kathy. "All right, let me try again. F is for fries. G is for grape juice. H is for hair." Kathy began to feel hungry. And I is for ice cream. Perhaps I'm not tired, but hungry. Now Kathy was sure she needed some snacks in order to sleep well. "Mom, may I have some cookies from the jar?" "No, you may not. You've brushed your teeth. Go back to sleep." Disappointed, Kathy went back to bed. She was not sleepy at all. The window was open and the wind was blowing the curtains. Kathy opened her eyes and looked around. S is for snake. T is for tiger. U is for under the bed. V is for vampire. W is for witch. She went to get Dad. "Want to play cards, Daddy?" "No, go to bed now." "Want to read together, you and me?" "No." "Read a book to me." "No, it's my bedtime now." "There's something moving the curtains, Daddy." Dad sighed. He went into Kathy's room and closed the window. "Listen, Kathy, do you want to know why the curtains are moving?" "Why?" "That's the wind's job. Every night the wind has to go around and blow all the curtains." "How can the wind have a job?" "Everybody has a job," said Dad. "I have to go to my office every morning. That's my job. You have to go to sleep so you can be wide awake tomorrow. That's your job. If you do not go to sleep now, do you know what will happen?" "I will get a spanking." "That's right," said Dad.
Good night, said Kathy. Then she went back to her room. She decided to start with tea again. Tea is the tree. Tree starts to grow. Yes. Trees grow. Dummies grow. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm number 14. Today, I would like to tell you a story. The Judge Monkey. The Judge Monkey. Two cats were passing through a street when they spotted a loaf of bread lying beneath a tree. Both pounced upon it and cut the loaf at the same time. "It is mine! I saw it first," claimed one cat. While the other said, "I pounced upon it first, so it belongs to me." After having fought for a while, one cat said, "Let us divide it into two and take one piece each." "Indeed, a good idea," said the other cat. "But how do we divide it now?" A monkey sitting on a branch of the tree had watched all that happened. "That loaf of bread looks good. I could do it myself," he thought. Slowly, he came down from the tree and walked up to the confused cats. "Yes, my dear friend, can I help you?" asked the monkey. The cats told the monkey what the problem was and said, "Why don't you be the judge between us?" When the monkey nodded what the cat said, "Please divide this loaf for us." The clever monkey broke the bread into two pieces, but one piece was a little bigger than the other. "Oh no! I will take a little bite from this bigger piece to make both equal," said the monkey. He took a bite from the bigger piece, but he had taken a big bite. Uh-oh, now it has become smaller than the other piece. "I will just have to take a little bite from this piece now," said the clever monkey. The judge monkey took another bite. Two cats sat in front of the monkey, seeing the loaf of bread they had found getting smaller and smaller. When the whole loaf was eaten by the monkey said, "I am sorry. It was really difficult to divide that loaf. I must be going now." And the monkey jumped onto the tree and was gone. If only we hadn't quarreled among ourselves. We should have stayed friends and not now be hungry, said the two cats. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, am I telling you a story about Little Red Riding Hood? Now, I'm telling you a story about myself. Last Sunday, I went to visit my grandma because she was sick. On the way to the bus station, I saw a man was driving through a narrow road. A woman was driving through the same road. As they passed each other, the woman leaned out of the window and yelled, "Pig!" The man immediately leaned out of his window and replied, "Witch!" They each continued on their way, and as the man rounded the next corner, he crashed into a pig in the middle of the road. Oops! If only men could listen. I got on the bus. When the bus was passing a deserted bus stop, I saw an old woman who wanted to get out. I called out the driver to stop. The driver pulled out to the curb and opened the door. After a minute, I saw the woman with a can crossing the street slowly. The driver waited patiently as she made her way to the bus and climbed the steps. While she was looking at her purse for her bus pass, he began to close the door. When A minute, the old woman snapped. My mother is coming. Finally, I got my grandma's house. My grandma was living with my uncle, but not a soul was in the house except a big empty waste basket. I stared at the door, wondering if my imagination could be playing tricks on me. The door looked up and said, "Don't be surprised, this is just part of my job." Incredible! I can't believe it. Does my uncle know what a prize he has in you? A dog can talk. No, please don't. If he finds out I can talk, he'll make me answer the phone as well. Hope you enjoy my day. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to tell you a story about the Gruffalo. A mouse took a straw through a deep dark wood. A fox saw a mouse and the mouse looked good. Where are you going to, little brown mouse? Come and have lunch in my underground house. Thank you, fox. But no, I'm going to have lunch with a Gruffalo. A Gruffalo? What's a Gruffalo? A Gruffalo, why didn't you know? He has terrible tusks and terrible claws and terrible teeth in his terrible jaws. Where are you meeting him? Here, by these rocks, and his favorite food is rock-tailed fox. Rock-tailed fox? Oh, I'm off! Little mouse and the fox ran away. The mouse took a stroll through a deep dark wood. Now saw a mouse and the mouse looked good. Cuckoo! Where are you going to, little brown mouse? Come and have tea in my treetop house. Thank you, fox, but no. I'm going to have tea with a Gruffalo. A Gruffalo? What's a Gruffalo? A Gruffalo, why didn't you know? It has narrow knees and turned-down toes and holds a nose was at the end of his nose. Where are you meeting him? Here, by this tree, and his favorite food is our ice cream. Our ice cream? Oh, I'm out. Goodbye, little mouse, and all flew away. The mouse took a stroll through a deep dark wood. A snake saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. Where are you going to, little brown mouse? Come and have big feast in my log pile house. Thank you, snake, but no. I'm going to have feast with a Gruffalo. A Gruffalo? What's a Gruffalo? A Gruffalo, why didn't you know? His eyes are, his tongue is black. He has purple prickles all over his back. Where are you meeting him? Here, by this lake, and his favorite food is scrambled snake. Scrambled snake? Oh, I'm off. Goodbye, little mouse, and the snake slid away. How silly! Don't they know there's no such thing as a Gruffalo? Boom, boom, boom! Oh, help! Oh no, it's a Gruffalo! The Gruffalo said, "Mouse is my favorite food. The best food on the slice of bread. Don't call me good. Just look behind me and you see everyone's afraid of me." All right, I tell you. They walk and walk. Sailor saw the fox, owl, and snake on the path ahead. "Hello, my dear friend," said the mouse. The three animals took one look at the Gruffalo and cried, "Oh no, help!" and ran away to their houses. You see, they are afraid of me, but my tummy is beginning to rumble. My favorite food is Gruffalo crumble. Gruffalo crumble? The Gruffalo's eyes went wide, ran away as quick as the wind. And the fox, owl, snake, and Gruffalo never bothered the mouse again. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. My story today is Two Cats and a Monkey. After a lovely festival in a village, the two cats were playing together. One of the cats saw a big, delicious-looking
delicious. In a sudden, the other cat jumped up and picked up the cake. The first cat said, "Meow, it is my cake because I saw it first." The other cat said, "It is my cake because I picked it up." A monkey was passing by. He heard the two cats fighting for their share of cake. The monkey was cunning, and he wanted to take advantage of the cats fighting. So he approached the two cats. He came to the cats and said, "Don't fight, my friends. I have two cats, and I can easily divide the cake into two pieces. Let me equally share the cake among you both." The cats agreed and handed the cake over to the monkey. The monkey split the cake into two parts. He shook his head and said, "Oh no, one is slightly bigger than the other one." He had let me take a bite of the bigger one. So it is as bigger as the other one. He had a big bite of the bigger piece of the cake and said, "Oh no, this has become smaller now," he added from the other. And thus, he went on eating from part to part and finally finished the whole cake. When all the cake was gone, the cat was stunned by what happened. It was too late when they realized that the monkey net was out of net. The entire time, the cat was so upset, but what could they do? It's no use crying over spilled milk. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, judges. My number is 18. Today, my topic is the gruffalo. The gruffalo. A fox saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. "Where are you going to, little mouse? Come and have lunch in my house." "So kind of you, fox. But no, I'm going to have lunch with a gruffalo." "A gruffalo? What's a gruffalo?" "Why, didn't you know? He has terrible tusks and terrible claws and terrible teeth in his terrible jaws. And his favorite food is fox." "Fox! I know! Goodbye, little mouse," Fox said and waved his beak. And out saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. "Where are you going to, little mouse? Come and have tea in my house." "So kind of you, owl. But no, I'm going to have tea with a gruffalo." "A gruffalo? What's a gruffalo?" "Why, didn't you know? He has numbing wings and turned-out toes and poison rot at the end of his nose. And his favorite food is owl." "Oh, goodbye, little mouse," Owl said and waved his foot. A snake saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. "Where are you going to, little mouse? Come for a feast in my house." "So kind of you, snake. But no, I'm having a feast with a gruffalo." "A gruffalo? What's a gruffalo?" "Why, didn't you know? His eyes are orange, his tongue is black, he has purple prickles all over his back, and his favorite food is snake." "Snake! It's tying my hair. Goodbye, little mouse," Snake said and waved his foot. "Silly! There's no such thing as a gruffalo." "Oh no, here comes gruffalo. My favorite food. You all taste good on a slice of bread." "Good? Don't call me good. I'm the scariest creature in this world. Just follow me through the sea." "All right, I'll follow." They walked, and saw the snake. Snake took one look and said, "Goodbye, little mouse," and slipped away. They walked, and saw the owl. Owl took one look and said, "Oh dear, goodbye, little mouse," and flew away. They walked, and saw the fox. Fox took one look and said, "Oh help,
I'm going to tell a story called Princess Marchipants. Princess Marchipants. Princess Marchipants didn't want to get married. She enjoyed being a miss because she was very pretty and rich. All the princess wanted her to be princess. Princess Marchipants wanted to live in a castle with a palace and do exactly as she pleased. It's high time you smarten yourself up, said her mother, the queen. Stop messing about with those animals and find yourself a husband. Suitors were always turning up at the castle, making a nuisance of themselves. Right, said Princess Marchipants. Whoever can accomplish the task like I said well, as they say, wins my hand. She asked Prince Compose to stop his dogs from eating her garden. She asked Prince Rushforth to fetch her house. She challenged Prince Pompous to a roller disco marathon. She invited Prince Boneshaker for a cross-country ride on a motorbike. She called on Prince Vertigo to rescue her from the tower. She sent Prince Ashton to chop some firewood in the royal forest. She suggested Prince Lola that he might like to put a pony through its paces. She told Prince Grumble to take another look shopping. She commanded Prince Soonbladder to retrieve the magic ring from the goldfish pond. None of the princes could accomplish the task he was sent. They all left in disgrace. Less that said Marchipants, thinking she was safe, that Prince Shashako should not. Stop us those eating the garden, put her past, roller disco until her, drove for miles on her motorbike. He rescued her from the tower. He found some firewood in the forest. He even had a poor pony. Took her brother to shopping and retrieved a magic ring from the goldfish pond. Prince Swashbuckle didn't think Marchipants was so smart, so she gave him a magic kiss, and he turned into a gigantic burrito. Prince Swashbuckle left in a big hurry. When the other princes heard what happened, Prince Swashbuckle, none of them wanted to marry Marchipants, so she lived happily ever after. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. I'm number 20. Today, I am going to tell you a story. The Prince and the Snake. The kingdom of Rakesh had a wise and kind king. People were happy, but the king was sad and worried. A devilish snake had entered his son's body. Neither medicine nor magic worked to cure his son. When the prince grew up, he thought, it is because of me that my father is worried. And so one day, he left home. Wandering, he came to another kingdom. He found a lonely temple and started living there. He begged for food. The king of that kingdom was cruel, but he had a kind and beautiful daughter. The king was unhappy with his daughter. That girl was always ridiculing her father's hard work. The king thought, she is always making fun of my hard work. I must marry her to a beggar. Then she will know what hard work is. So, when the beggar prince came to beg for food in the palace, the cruel king forced him to marry his daughter. The prince and his new bride started for the temple. On their way, they stopped to take rest. The princess went around in search of food while her husband went to sleep. When the princess came back, she was shocked to see a snake sitting in her husband's nose. On a horse nearby sat another snake. They were chatting among themselves. Why don't you lift the body of the prince? He is so kind and gentle, said the snake sitting on the mound. You two are evil. You attack passers-by. You should not be telling me what to do, replied the snake sitting in the mouth of the prince.
told her who he really was. He sailed to the princess' palace. The king was delighted to see his son. When the king learned that the devilish snake was killed, his joy knew no bounds. The prince and the princess lived happily for a long time. After 3 years, the kingdom celebrated the day of which the royal couple gave birth to twins of 1 boy and 1 girl. Thank you, everybody.
Good morning, dear gentlemen. Today I'll tell a story for you. Who's next door? Deep in the woods, there are 2 houses. Chicken lives in the house with the red roof. Wah-doo-doo-doo. No one lives in the house with the blue roof. One day, Chicken stepped outside, and what a surprise! It looks like someone has moved in next door. Is he still sleeping? Maybe he is out. But no one comes out. Finally, it's time to go to bed. I'm sure I'll get to meet my neighbor tomorrow. But the next day, the following day, and the day after that, Chicken didn't meet his neighbor. Shouldn't he come to my house to say hello? Maybe he's tired from moving. I'll leave it alone anyway. But it would be so much fun to have a friend. I'm just time to meet my neighbor. Chicken decides to write a letter and leave it on his neighbor's door. That night, the door of the house with the blue roof opens. Owl comes out. Owl is the opposite of Chicken. Every night, Owl has been going to the house to say hello. But Chicken is already asleep. So, Owl is overjoyed to find a letter. He replies right away. Thank you, I'll definitely come. The next morning, Chicken wakes up. He finds an answer and is also overjoyed. He waits and waits and waits. How about Owl? The Owl waits for Chicken. He waits and waits. Is he too late for him to come over? I'll check outside to make sure. Is he too early to fix it? I'll step outside to make sure. The 2 doors open. Hello? Hello? Deep in the woods, there are 2 houses. Chicken lives in the house with the red roof. Owl lives in the house with the blue roof. Wow, there's something between the 2 houses. What could it be? Dun-dun-dun! A bulletin board! Chicken and Owl don't get to see each other very often, but they talk to each other all the time by the bulletin board. Thanks for your listening.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am number 1. Today I want to tell you a story that lives a chameleon. I'm Shani Philip, said a small green chameleon. It moved onto a brown tree and turned brownish. Then it rested on red flower and turned reddish. When the chameleon moved slowly towards the yellow set, it turned yellowish. You could easily see it. When the chameleon had something to eat, it turned sparkling green. But when it was cold and hungry, it turned gray and dull. When the chameleon was hungry, it sat still and waited. Only its eyes moved up, down, sideways until it sparked of light. Then the chameleon's long and stinking tongue shut out and caught the fly. That was its life. It was not very exciting, but one day the chameleon saw a zoo. He had never seen so many beautiful animals. The chameleon thought, how small I am, how slow, how weak. I wish I could be and quiet like a polar bear. And chameleons which came true. But when it was not happy, no. I wish I could be handsome like a flamingo. I wish I could be smart like a fox. I wish I could swim like a fish. I wish I could run like a deer. I wish I could see far away like a giraffe. I wish I could hide in a shell like a turtle. I wish I could be strong like an elephant. I wish I could be funny like a seal. I wish I could be like a people. Just then a fly flew by. The chameleon was very hungry, but it was very mixed up. And it was a little of this, and it was a little of that, and it couldn't catch the fly. I wish I could be myself, the chameleons which came true. And it caught the fly. That's all for my story. Thank you.
Hello teachers, I am ready to talk about the story, The Ugly Duckling. A little duckling was very sad because he thought he was the ugliest amongst all his brothers and sisters. They would not play with him and teased the poor ugly duckling. One day, he saw his reflection in the water and cried, "Nobody likes me. I am so ugly." He decided to leave home and went far away into the woods. Deep in the forest, he saw a cottage in which there lived an old woman, her hen and her cat. The duckling stayed with them for some time, but he was happy there and soon left. When winter set in, the poor duckling almost froze to death. A peasant took him home to his wife and children. And the duckling stayed with them for some time, but the peasant took him home to his wife and children. The poor duckling was terrified of the children and escaped. The ugly duckling spent the winter in the marshy pond. Finally, spring arrived. One day, the duckling saw a beautiful swan swimming in the pond and fell in love with her. But then he remembered how everyone made fun of him, and he banged his head down in shame. When he saw his own reflection in the water, he was astonished. He was not an ugly duckling anymore, but a handsome young swan. Now, he knew why he looked so different from his brothers and sisters. They were duckling, but I was a baby swan, he said to himself. He married the beautiful swan and lived happy ever after. The end.
everyone, I'm number 3, the oak tree and the reed. This is one of the best short moral stories for kids. I hope you enjoy it. An oak tree stood tall and strong near the bank of a river and close to some reeds. It was a huge tree with a huge trunk and hundreds of big, strong branches. The oak tree was so proud that he used to boast openly about his strength. I am so strong and mighty. Nothing can uproot me. Nothing can destroy me. Listening to what the oak tree was saying, the reed couldn't resist but said, "Oh, mighty oak tree, don't be so proud of your strength. Nothing in this world is immortal. Being modest is the key." Said, "Ha ha ha, you little feeble reed. What do you know about the strength and the being the strongest tree in the jungle?" Making fun of those reeds, the oak tree stood there with pride. Then suddenly the wind started to blow. The reeds bounced their heads as the wind started getting stronger. "Watching this," the oak tree said, "you are so petite and weak. The slightest of winds make you bow your head. How would you survive the strongest of storms? Ha ha ha." Soon the wind turned into a hurricane, and the oak tree, standing straight with pride, continued to laugh at the reeds. "Oh, tree, you might be big and strong, but you need not worry about us. We will bow our heads in this powerful hurricane and survive it. If you continue standing straight, you will not be able to survive in these strong winds and break in no time," said the wise reeds. "No, nothing can uproot me. I am the strongest and will continue to stand tall and never bow down no matter what." Soon, the wind got more furious, and soon the hurricane took its peak. The little reeds kept their heads bowed and started swinging in the rhythm of the wind, preventing themselves from getting uprooted. But the oak tree, which stood straight and tried fighting the hurricane, soon broke down and fell in the river. "No, this is not possible," cried the tree. "See, we told you, you just learned a lesson. Better to yield than to resist stubbornly and be destroyed," said all the reeds. The oak tree went drifting in the water, crying over his own false pride. I've finished my stories. Thank you for your listening.
Good morning, dear judges. I'm number 4. It's my pleasure to stand here and share a story with you. Do you remember the last time you had a quarrel with someone? How did it happen? And what happened after that? It's something that usually happens in life, and we need to learn how to deal with it. My story topic is the fight. There were 2 girls named Mary and Jane. One day, they were playing on the street. It rained a little while ago, so there were some puddles on the ground. Mary stepped her foot in a puddle. It was a little muddy. The water splashed. It fell on Jane's new dress. Jane felt very angry. The two were fighting and blaming each other. At that time, Jane's mother was walking by. Jane's mother looked at her daughter's dress. She scolded her daughter. "How can you make your new dress so dirty?" she asked. "Mary splashed water on me, Mom," said Jane. Jane's mother called Mary. She kicked Mary on the back. Mary started to cry out loud. Mary's house was close by. Mary's mother heard her daughter crying. She came out in a hurry. "Why are you crying?" asked her mother.
Jane's mother kicked me on my back,
said Mary. Mary's mother turned to Jane's mother with rage. Soon, they started fighting loudly. They called each other names. Their shouting continued. Other men and women in the neighborhood joined them soon. Some supported Jane's mother, some supported Mary's mother. The two fighting groups became bigger and bigger. The quarrel became endless. At that moment, the grandmother came out of the house. She told the men and the women not to fight. "Please stop. You are embarrassing yourself," she told them. No one listened to her. However, in the meantime, Mary and Jane were not in the fighting crowd. They were playing somewhere else. Obviously, they forgot what just happened and became friends again. They made some paper boats and placed them in the water puddle. Now, the grandmother said to the fighting groups, "Look at the children. They have become friends again. But you men and women still keep fighting. Are you not ashamed of yourselves?" The men and the women looked at the little girls. They felt embarrassed. They went back to their houses quietly. We can forget and forgive very easily if we want to. The adults learn a lesson from the little girls. It's the end of my story. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm number 5. Today I'm going to tell you a story. The story is The Dot. The Dot. Art class was over, but Vasti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vasti's thinking in overruling paper. Polar bear in a snowstorm, she said. Very fun, said Vasti. I just can't draw. Her teacher smiled. Just make a mark and see where it takes you. Vasti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good strong jab. There! Her teacher picked out paper and studied carefully. She pushed the paper to Vasti and quietly said, "Now sign it." Vasti thought for a moment. Well, maybe I can draw, but I can't sign my name. The next week, when Vasti walked into her art class, she was proud to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was a little dot she had drawn. Her dot, all in golden thread. I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never before used set of watercolors and set to work. A red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot. Vasti painted and painted. The blue mixed with yellow. She discovered she could make a green dot. Vasti kept amazing a little this and a little that. Finally, she got lots of little dots in many colors. Vasti splashed colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vasti even made a dot by not painting a dot. In the school art show, a few weeks later, Vasti mini dot made quite a splash. Vasti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You are a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vasti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler." Vasti smiled. She handed the little boy a blank piece of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vasti stared at the boy's short wavy line. And then she said, "Sign it." Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sergeant Zhong Qinling from Shulin Junior High School. I'm going to share a story from my village. Run! A big noise broke the silence of the forest. A big black bear was arguing with monkeys. Who was the smartest animal in the forest? Of course me, the black bear said. My power is bigger than yours, so I am the smartest. You are not, the monkey said. We are the smartest because we can move in the forest the fastest. No one can fly as far as I do, the eagle said. So I am the smartest animal. Voodoo, the god spirit of Taoco people, showed up. The animals asked Voodoo to judge who was the smartest animal. Follow me, Voodoo said. I have one way. Every animal came to a cliff after Voodoo. There was a giant rock on the edge of the cliff. Make the rock fall into the valley to show you are the smartest, said Voodoo. The black bear tried, but he failed. The eagle tried, but they also failed. The monkeys tried, but they also failed. No animals were successful. The rock was too big to move. Why don't you let me try? A beautiful but tiny sound said. It was Cicely bird. But you have to come back dusk tomorrow. I will make the rock fall then. Voodoo made animals go home and invited them to come back next dusk. The next day, Voodoo and the animals came to the cliff again. Cicely suddenly showed up when the sun was going to set. The animals were all curious. Then Cicely flew to the sky. The animals were very scared. The earth started to quake. The animals were very scared. And the rock fell into the valley. Do you have magic power? Asked a monkey in a tree. Asked a monkey in a tree. I don't have magic power, but I can tell when the earthquake or danger is coming, answered Cicely. Cicely was successful. Cicely was the smartest animal. The animals cheered for Cicely. Are you willing to keep Taoco people from danger with your power for me? Said Voodoo to Cicely. From then on, Cicely bird began to protect Taoco people for Voodoo. Nowadays, Taoco people still plan what is going to happen through Cicely bird's sounds. Thanks for listening.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to present an original story telegraphed by me called Peacock and Cannibal. Once upon a time in the northern forest, far away from us, lived a variety of animals. They all lived in peace and harmony. One snow morning, animals in the forest gathered together to watch peacocks display their spectacular tail feathers. One of the peacocks, the most gorgeous but also the most arrogant one indeed, saw a caterpillar walking by without even thinking. He lifted his tail and shouted, "Hey, ugly caterpillar! Look how beautiful I am, and like you, a tiny unattractive one." Animals around laughed loudly. Well, when I bet, someone's later, let's meet again and see who's better then. Caterpillar angrily replied, "Dear Charles accepted," said Peacock. Since that day, Caterpillar started exercise, learning new things and eating piles of leaves every day. 2 months later, she became a chrysalis. Meanwhile, Peacock was still bragging about his beauty to everyone in the forest. Time went so fast. Caterpillar finished her ordeal and opened her chrysalis. All her efforts paid off. She transformed into a charming butterfly. She decided to show people the birds right away. "Wow, she's the most stunning creature I've ever seen." Animals uttered surprisingly when Caterpillar appeared. Peacock was shocked by her amazing work. He, therefore, admitted his defeat and apologized to Caterpillar. Finally, Peacock realized that it is not fair to judge others by their look, and he should change his attitude towards others. Moral of the story: don't judge people only by their appearance. Also, what's more than your appearance is your attitude and behavior. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed this story.
Good morning, everyone. Today I would like to tell you a story. Mickey, the masterful monkey. One day, Mickey was walking in his garden. Mickey was feeling lonely when he came across an old lady. "Hello, lady," said Mickey excitedly. "I am Mickey, the masterful monkey, and I am looking for a new home." Well, Mickey, my name is Maggie, and I would be happy to take you with me. What can you do?" she asked. Mickey was very excited. "Just watch," said Mickey. Mickey crossed the streets and went in the building. Mickey was climbing the stairs in the building and making his way to the roof. Maggie looked up and saw Mickey on top of the building. "Mickey, what are you doing up there?" screamed Maggie. "Watch this," said Mickey as he jumped off the roof. Mickey fell to the floors of the tall building before pressing a button on his belt. This set off a booster from his shoes, which sent him moving away from the building. Then Mickey bounced off a tree and went towards Maggie. Before Mickey hit Maggie, he pressed another button on his belt and stopped, landing next to Maggie in the street. "That was amazing," said Maggie. "My house is not that big though. Is there anything smaller you can do?" asked Maggie. Mickey reached into his pocket and took out a shiny new coin. "I can make this coin disappear," said Mickey. Mickey threw the coin towards the bushes, and then it disappeared from sight. "See, it's gone now," said Mickey. Maggie was not impressed with the trick. She asked for another trick to decide whether to take him home or not. After thinking long and hard, Mickey came up with an idea. Mickey, the masterful monkey, threw his arms up in the air and screamed, "Wow!" Maggie was confused. Mickey then ran at Maggie and gave her a big hug. Maggie wasn't confused any longer and hugged Mickey right back. "I have made my decision," said Maggie. "I am going to take you home with me. There is always room in my house for a laughing friend. Thank you."
Good morning, everyone. I am the next speaker. My topic is my dream. Everyone has a dream, and I have mine. When I was little, I wanted to be a doctor. After I reached 10 years old, I changed my mind. I want to be a scientist. Until now, as a junior high school student, I just want to be complete, task and pass the entrance examination for senior high school. My dream becomes more and more realistic. I feel it is a very interesting process to see the changing of my dream. I don't know about anybody else. What kind of dream do they have? Or what do they want in their life? I believe dream is the reflection of someone's desire in their current life. When I was little, I always admired the doctor. 3 years ago, I found out to be a scientist is even greater than a doctor. My parents even bought me a microscope as my 10-year-old birthday gift. I still appreciate my dream. Now I am 13 and I still dream. However, in order to reach my dream in Taiwan, I have to be good at all the subjects. I shared my mind with my dad, and we had a great conversation on a cozy Saturday night. Let me tell you, my long term is going to bring on a short-term dream. I will not give out my dream for the future, but I have to be good current situation. What about you? Do you have any dreams in your life? Have you ever changed your dream as well? Did you achieve your dream yet? Hope we can all share our someday. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today I will tell a story. Who did Patrick's homework? Who did Patrick's homework? Patrick never did homework. So boring, he said. He played the baseball and the basketball and the Nintendo instead. His teacher told him, Patrick, do your homework or you want another thing. And it is true. Sometimes he did feel like a ding-a-ling. But what could he do? He hated homework. One day, his cat was playing with a little dog. Meow, meow. Hey, kitty, go away. He grabbed it away. To his surprise, it wasn't a dog at all, but a man for the tiny size. He had a little wood shirt with old-fashioned breeches, and the high toe had much better breeches. He yelled, Save me! Don't give back to my cat! I'm granting your wish! I promise you that! Patrick couldn't believe how lucky he was. He was the answer to all of his problems. So he said, only if you do all my homework till the end of the semester. If you do a good enough job, I could even get A's. The little man's wearing like the dish clothes. Throwing a hamper. He kicked his legs, doubled his feet, grimaced and pursed his lips. Oh, and I curse. But I'll do it. And true to his word, the little elf began to do Patrick's homework. Except, there was one glitch. The little elf didn't always know what to do and he needed help. Help me! Help me! I don't know this word! The elf shouted out while reading Patrick's homework. Give me a dictionary! No. What's the matter? Look at the word and sound out by straight for me. When it comes to math, Patrick was all of luck. What a tight table! I'm ashamed. We absolutely need that. And addition, subtraction, division, and the fractions. Fractions. I can figure it out. Here, sit up beside me. You must guide me. So the little elf, already a shouter, just got louder. Go to the library. I need the books, more and more books, and you can help me learn too. As a matter of fact, every day, in every way, the little elf was an egg. Patrick was working harder than ever. He was staying up nights, had never felt so tired. But going to school with his eyes puffed and burning. Finally, the last day of school arrived, and the little elf was free to go. As for homework, there was no more, so he quietly and silently slipped out
Patrick got his A's. His classmates were amazed. His teacher smiled and were full of praise. And his parents, they wondered what had happened to Patrick. He was now a model kid, cleaned his room, did his chores, was cheerful and never rude, like he had developed a whole new attitude. You see, in the end, Patrick still thought he made a tiny man do his homework. But I will share a secret, just between you and me. It wasn't the elf. Patrick had done it himself. That's all my story. Thank you for listening. Dear judges, I'm number 11. Today, I'm going to tell you a story. Sparkle. One day, there was a girl named Lucy got an ad which said, unicorn, 25 cents. She was so curious that she sent in the money. She could hardly wait. I'll name him Sparkle. He'll be blue with a pink man. A whole day passed. I'll put a flower necklace on his neck. Another day passed. I'll take him to show and tell. Everyone will love him. He might be scared when he first gets here. I'll give him a cupcake. Sparkle, Sparkle, where are you? Finally, a big truck rumbled up. Lucy shouted, "It's Sparkle!" She opened the box carefully and gently. Suddenly, she heard chomp. The cupcake was gone, and meanwhile, the unicorn ran out of the box. Lucy yelled, "Sparkle, come back! Sparkle, not the underpants! No!" The unicorn had spots. He smelled funny. What's the worst? He had fleas. However, Lucy tried to put a necklace and a tutu on him to make him better. But he ate both. Besides, he didn't want to go to show and tell. Even when he got there, he behaved so poorly that all the classmates laughed at them, which made Lucy embarrassed. Lucy was mad to yell Sparkle, "You are a bad unicorn!" Lucy called the unicorn man and said, "Take him back, I don't want him." The unicorn man replied, "Okay, but I can't get there until tomorrow." Lucy could hardly wait. That night, there was a storm frightening Sparkle. Lucy gave him a bear. Furthermore, she had to read him a bedtime story. She patted his head and said, "Oh, don't be such a big baby." The next morning, Lucy watched Sparkle play in the yard. Some boy came by and asked, "What's your goat's name?" Lucy answered, "His name is Sparkle, and he is not a goat." One of the boys said doubtfully, "But he looks like a goat." Lucy replied, "Well, he is a special kind of unicorn." The unicorn man drove up and he said to Lucy, "Okay, let's load him in." Sparkle refused to get into the box. Therefore, Lucy put a cupcake in the far corner and it worked. Then Lucy shut the door. The unicorn man quickly revved his engine and drove away. All of a sudden, Lucy yelled, "Wait!" The truck stopped. Lucy opened the box and Sparkle jumped out. He was so excited that he knocked her down by mistake. "Sparkle," said Lucy, "welcome home." Thanks for listening.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm number 1. Today, I'm going to tell you a story, Mouse Deer and Tiger. I'm quick and fast as I can be, try and try but can't catch me. Mouse Deer sang his song as he walked through the forest. He was looking for tasty fruits. He knew that many big animals wanted to eat him, but first they had to catch him. Then he heard something.
There was Tiger! Hello, Mouse Deer. I'm really hungry right now. You will be my lunch.
in the tree. I'm sorry, Tiger. I can't spare your lunch now. The king has ordered me to guard his throne, said Mouse Deer.
His throne?
Said Tiger curiously. Yes, there it is. It has the best sound in the world. The king doesn't want anyone else to hit it. Mouse Deer pointed the west nest.
Can I hit the king's throne?
Tiger asked. Of course you can't. The king will be very angry, said Mouse Deer refused.
Just one little hit, Mouse Deer. The king will never know, said Tiger.
Well, all right, Tiger, but first let me run far away so the king won't blame me, said Mouse Deer.
All right, Mouse Deer, you can go now.
Mouse Deer ran quickly out of sight. Tiger then reached up and hit the wasp nest. Pow! Bzzz. The wasps all flew out. They started to sting Tiger. Ouch! Ouch! Itch! That's another jump! That's a wasp nest! Tiger jumped into a stream. Splash! Until the wasp went away. Then Tiger jumped out. Roar! He ran through the forest till he found Mouse Deer. He called out with Mouse Deer.
Mouse Deer, you tricked me once, but now you will be my lunch.
Mouse Deer looked around, and so fast, he saw a sleeping cobra. I'm sorry, Tiger. I can't spare your lunch. The king has ordered me to guard his belt, said Mouse Deer.
His belt?
Said Tiger. Yes, there it is. It's the best belt in the world. The king doesn't want anyone else to wear it. Mouse Deer pointed the cobra.
Can I wear it?
Tiger asked. Of course you can't. The king will be very angry, said Mouse Deer refused.
Just for one moment, Mouse Deer. The king will never know,
said Tiger. Well, all right, Tiger, but please leave me run far away so no one will blame me, said Mouse Deer.
All right, Mouse Deer, you can go now.
Mouse Deer ran quickly out of sight.
Imagine the king's belt.
Oops! The cobra woke up! It ran so wrong, Tiger! Oh, shout you! That's another belt! That's a cobra! Help, Mouse Deer! Help! But Mouse Deer was far away, and as he went, he sang his song. I'm quick as fast as I can be. Play and play, but can't catch me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am number 2. Today I'm going to share a story with you. The story is The Scary Taxi. The Scary Taxi. Argentinians say that you should not spin a taxi get out of the brake. If you are, you might get into the scary, deadly taxi. It happened to a woman named Claudia, who is on her way home in that evening. She got home from work late as the rain poured that night. She was too tired to walk back to her apartment, so she decided to take a taxi. Claudia walked on the road alone, passing through a cemetery. She saw a taxi coming toward her suddenly. She raised her hand and stopped the taxi. When the taxi stopped, she got in and told the driver her address. Claudia sat on the back seat. She suddenly felt the intense atmosphere that she never did before. Looking around her, she realized that the driver was driving the wrong way. Claudia tried to say something to the driver when she accidentally saw a hand behind the wheel of the cab. The skinny driver looked pale. His finger almost filled with the bones. She could not see his face in the rearview mirror of the cab. "Hey, we're going the wrong way," said Claudia loud and scared. The driver did not answer, but continued to drive his car. Claudia reached out
and touched his shoulder. The driver slowly turned his head. Claudia screamed in terror. The driver looked like a corpse. His skin was rotting and was attached to its goal. Claudia tried to open the back door and tried to get out, but the door handle was actually a part in his hand. Claudia tried to roll down the window, but it didn't work. Then she saw a young couple walking down the street. She yelled at them and banged on the windows. Help! Help! Trying to catch their attention. However, they did not hear her. Claudia was shivering, feeling a desperation trying to escape. She attacked the driver's face by clawing with her nail. The disgusting breather stuck on her both hands, and the stool appearing increasingly. The taxi began picking on its speed, faster and faster through the run on the streets of the city. Claudia looked back and saw a sign on the right behind the window written, "Prepare to die." After that, Claudia was never seen again. No one knows whether this is true or just an urban legend. The only thing we know is who abducted by taxi death will never be able to verify the story. Thank you for your listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, here today I will be sharing with you a story. She's God. Once, in the farmland in the north, there was a community of plain folks who used the old-style farm tools instead of modern tractors and things. The menfolk were out in the field working one day, and two young girls had taken supper out to their fathers and mothers in the field, walking home with nothing left of the meal except the dirty forks in their apron pockets. The girls passed the old iron gate of the graveyard. "There's where they buried that old witch today," said the sassy girl to the polite girl just as the sun was going down. "Oh, you must not speak ill of the dead," said the polite girl. "That isn't nice at all." "I'm not afraid of that old woman," said the mean girl. "You're just a fraidy cat. Why? I'll just go in and spit on an old witch's grave, but you've been too scared to come with me, huh?" "Even if she were a witch," said the polite girl, "it would be wrong of you to do that. Besides, you'll just go in and wait behind the tree, then you'll come out and claim you've done it." "I would not," the other answered. "I'll just go in and spit on an old witch's grave. And to prove I did it," she pulled a fork out of her apron pocket as she spoke. "I'll stick this fork in the grave to prove I was there. You can go in tomorrow in broad daylight and see." With the fork in her hand, the sassy girl went through the old iron gate into the dark graveyard and walked among the trees and tombstones until she came to the first grave of the old woman. The sun was down, and long shadows fell across the pile of dirt that covered the grave. It was hard to see in the darkness, but the brazen girl leaned over and spit on the dirt. "Take that, old witch," said the mean girl as she stuck the fork into the grave to prove she had been there. Just then, she felt something grab onto the hem of her long dress. When she tried to stand up and pull out her dress, she looked down in the darkness and saw something white, like a bones of a hand, holding onto her, pulling her back down. She screamed, "She's got me!" and fainted. Outside the graveyard, the polite girl heard the scream and ran back to the field to get her father and brothers. Walking home, they met her on the road. She told them what had happened, and they hurried to the graveyard.
Inside the graveyard, the polite girl led the men and boys all the way back to the old witch's grave. There lay the body of the sassy girl, fallen over the grave. When the men lifted the girl, she woke up. Everyone laughed. When the sassy girl had bent over and stuck the fork into the grave, she had caught the bottom of her own dress. It was only the fork that had grabbed her and held her to the old witch's grave. Thanks for your kind listening.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I want to tell you a scary, funny story about a young girl who met the devil and was granted 3 wishes. There was a girl named Tintin who was very badly behaved. Her parents couldn't control her, and she was always causing problems. At school, she bullied all of the other kids and beat them up. She had no friends, and everyone in her class didn't like her. One morning, Tintin was on her way to school when a strange man stepped out of the bushes and blocked her path. The man was dressed in black from head to toe, and his eyes glowed with an unmerciful light. "Ah, who are you?" asked Tintin. "Well, I have many names," the man replied with a sly smile. "Some call me Beelzebub, others know me as Belial, or Nick, or Lucifer. You probably know me as Satan." "Oh, Satan? Prove it." "All right," said the devil. "I will grant you 3 wishes in return for your everlasting soul." Tintin thought hard for a minute, then shrugged her shoulders and said, "Okay, it's a deal." "What is your first wish?" asked the devil. I've read stories like this before. When people are granted wishes, they usually end up getting screwed. But I'm too smart for that. So, for my first wish, I wish for unlimited wishes. The devil raised his eyebrows. "Very smart. Your wish is granted." "I know," replied Tintin with a cheeky grin. "What is your second wish?" asked the devil. For my second wish, I wish I was a millionaire. And I mean a millionaire in American dollars, so not trees with some weird foreign currencies. The devil smirked. "I think you're too quick-witted for me. Your wish is granted." "Excellent! Okay, for my next wish, I want to be the most popular girl in school." "Your wish is granted." Just then, she heard the school bell ringing in the distance. "Oh no! Look what you've done! You've made me late for school. Now the teacher's going to give me detention for sure. I wish I was dead." And then, suddenly, she was. Have you ever thought about being granted 3 wishes? How would you make your wishes? Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I want to tell you a story. You have 2 choices. Michael is my friend. He is always in a good mood and always has something positive to say. When someone asks him how he was doing, he will reply, "If I were any better, I would be twins." If anyone was having a bad day, Michael would tell him or her how to look at the positive side of the situation. He really made me curious. One day I asked him, I don't get it. You can't be a positive person all of the time. How do you do it? Michael replied. Each morning I wake up and say to myself, you have two choices today. You can choose to be in a bad mood or in a good mood. I choose the latter. Each time something bad happens, I can choose to be a victim or learn from it. I choose the latter. Each time someone comes to me complaining, I can choose to accept their complaining, or I can point out the positive side of the life. I always choose the latter. Yeah, right, it's not that easy, I protested. Yes, it is, Michael said. Life is all about choices. Every situation is always your choice. You choose how you react to situations and how people affect your mood. It's your choice, how you live your life. From then on, I often thought about him. When I made a choice about life instead of reacting to it. Several years later, I heard that Michael was involved in a serious accident. After 18 hours of surgery and weeks of intensive care, Michael was released from the hospital. When I saw Michael, I asked him how he was. He replied, if I were any better, I'd be twins. I asked him what had gone through his mind as the accident took place. The first thing that went through my mind was well-being to be born daughter. Michael replied. Then I remember that I had two choices. I could choose to live or to die. I chose to live. Weren't you scared? I asked. Michael continued. The doctors were great. They kept telling me I was going to be fine. But when I saw the expressions on the faces of the doctors and nurses, I got really scared. In their eyes, I read, he is a dead man. I knew I needed to take actions. What did you do? I asked. Michael said, the doctors and nurses stopped working as they waited for my reply. I took a deep breath and yelled, seriousness! Over the laughter, I told them I'm choosing to live. Operate on me as if I am alive, not dead. Now, Michael lives healthily, thanks to the skill of his doctors, but it is also because of his amazing attitude. I learned from him that every day we have the choice to live fully. Attitude, after all, is everything. Thanks for listening.
Hello everyone. If you had a chance to change your fate, would you? Today, I'm going to tell you a story about a girl who changed her fate. Her name was Hilda. Hilda. Once upon a time, there was a king who had no sons but one daughter, whose name was Hilda. When the king grew old, he said to his wife, my strength is leaving me, but we have no sons. Daughter can't rule a kingdom. Overhearing this, Hilda stepped forward. Father, why can't I do it? The task is too difficult for a woman, replied the king. If you have made a decision, I can't live here anymore. I'm leaving. The king pleaded with the princess to stay, but her heart was set. Before Hilda left, her father gave her his sword, saying he hoped she would never need to use it. Hilda traveled for a long time. One day, she arrived at a place where she learned of a terrible monster. The monster's mouth was so huge that his lower jaw lay on the ground while the upper jaw brushed the sky. When the monster took over her territory, all the people became his slaves. Where does this monster
kill it. I'm not afraid to try, even I'm ready to die, she answered. Hilda was led to a valley. It was the best land. No birds flew in the sky. No animals ran on the ground. In this dry desert, she found a sleeping monster. Who dares to bother me? The monster was so mad that it swallowed the control. Hilda fell into the belly of the beast. There she saw many living people. Hilda said to them, "Let's work together to kill the evil." One person sighed. Lady, if we could, we would. It's hopeless. We are fated to die. Our fate lives in us. We only have to be brave enough to try. The only failure is not to try. The princess wouldn't give up. She took out her father's sword. See, what will be? She struck the monster's heart with all her might. The monster screamed in pain and died. All the people cheered for a brave heroine. You saved us all. We will be your slaves. Just go back to your lives, the brave princess said. But if you want to follow me, you may return with me to my land. Hilda returned home with many followers. Her parents were so pleased to see her back. After listening to this venture, the king announced, "You used your courage to free the poor people. Now I give you my people and my land." Hence, Hilda became new ruler of the kingdom. She successfully changed her fate. Thank you for your listening.
Dear judges, ladies and gentlemen, I'm number 7. Today, I'm going to talk about an unbelievable journey. Have you ever taken yourself out of your comfort zone to see a different world? Holden is a quiet hobbit, and that's natural bravery. He is very satisfied with the life in a wonderful land. One day, a wise man Adam visited him and awoke his motivation to find out the ring from the Tristan.
Holden, the world has the trouble. The selfish Tristan took the ring, destroying the wonderful land. Please, join us to save the world.
Adam said, "No, it sounds so dangerous. I don't want to do it." Holden replied. Finally, Holden accepted Adam's suggestion. Then, they joined a team of 25 dwarfs. On their journey, they are determined to get their treasure from an evil Tristan. They went across the mysterious hills. During a blizzard, they took sanctuary in a cave. But there were some monsters to catch them and take them into the hill. Adam saved the team and took them out, but accidentally left Holden behind. As Holden walked inside the hill, he found the gold ring and took it. Then he heard the sound. "Who are you? I want to eat you," said Tristan. But Holden didn't afraid. However, Holden challenged him to a competition to decide his destiny. Holden won, but Tristan still wanted to eat him. As he tried to find his magic ring, Holden had ring secretly, so he turned invisible. Finally, Holden shoots an arrow into Tristan's heart and beat him. Through this journey, we know that there is more for Holden to experience the difficulty. This is for the life we are. Taking ourselves out of our comfort zone and see what we could do. Once we undertake a new journey, we'll encounter the whole new world that we never think before. With the compassion, expectation, and dedication, we will make a better future. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon, dear judges. I'm number 8. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about Bobo the baker. Bobo the baker. Long ago, in a town encircled by the wall, lived Bobo the baker. Hello everyone, I'm the youngest, the smartest, and the best baker in the whole duchy. No one could resist the warm, sweet smells drifting from my bakery. And neither could the Duke and the Duchess. They must eat my sweet rolls every day. However, one early morning, when Bobo's cat was chasing after a mouse, it accidentally tipped over all over milk. Oh no, my milk! I can't make sweet rolls without fresh milk. Bobo had no choice but grab a pitcher of water and hoped nobody would notice the difference. Now, you and I may not be able to tell the difference, but the Duke and especially the Duchess could. What is this? This is not a roll. It is a stone. Where is Bobo the baker? Bring her here at once. Soon, Bobo was brought to the castle. She admitted that she used water instead of milk. The Duke was so angry and said, "Leave my duchy and never come back." However, the Duchess wanted to give Bobo a second chance. Well, you may say, only if you can make a roll through which the rising sun can shine 3 times with only one dough, and it must taste good. Now, go home and bring it to me tomorrow morning. Poor Bobo, worried and sad, she trudged back to her bakery. She worked all day and night. She made long rolls, short rolls, round rolls, and the twisted rolls. She beat, pulled, pushed, and rubbed the dough, but it was all in vain. Sadly and angrily, she grabbed the dough and flung it against the ceiling. "Stick there, you silly dough!" Of course, the dough fell out right away. But something miracle just happened at a moment. The dough twisted itself as it dropped. The roll through which the rising sun can shine 3 times. This is what I want. She soon baked the dough and brought it to the castle. Oh, the flavor, the texture. Oh, it's so perfect. Now, pray tell us, what did you call this? Yes, pretzel. It's pretzel, Bobo declared proudly. From then on, pretzel had become a sign of good luck. No matter what difficulties we're facing, just have one and we'll be fine. Thank you for your listening and have a nice day.
Good afternoon, honorable judges. My story is why Anansi, the spider, has the small waist. Nowadays, if you look closely at a spider, you will see that he has a big head and a big body and a tiny waist in between. But long ago, spiders did not have the small waist. I will tell you the story of how this came to be. Annecy, the spider, loved to eat more than anything. He could smell the cooking from a mile away. One day, when he was in the forest, he noticed a delicious smell in the air. Where was the wonderful smell come from? Just then, Annecy remembered that today was the festival of the harvest. The two villages nearby, one to the east, the other to the west, will both be having feasts. Annecy's mouth began to water. He thought, there will be so much food, I will be able to eat as much as I want. But Annecy wondered which village will be serving the best food, the one to the east or the one to the west. Annecy thought, I will go to both feasts and find out who will be serving food first. I will go there, eat my fill, and go to the other village. But when Annecy went to the two villages and asked when the feast would begin, no one would tell him. The people of both villages knew that Annecy never did any work, but always appeared just when the food was served. Annecy knew that if he showed up, he could have all the food he wanted, since it was the custom of the villagers not to refuse anyone who came to their door hungry. Before long, Annecy came up with a very clever plan. First, he called his eldest son. Annecy tied a very long rope around his arm with him and said to his son, take the other end of this rope to the east village and give a hot pour when the food is served, so that I will know it's time for me to come and eat. Then he called his youngest son. Annecy tied a very long rope around his arm with him and said to his son, take the other end of this rope toward the west village and give a hot pour when the food was ready. Annecy waited and waited for the feast to begin. Suddenly, he felt a hot pour to the east. Annecy was very excited, but just then, there was a hot pour to the west. Annecy realized that the two villages must have their feast at the same time. His two sons were pulling so hard on their ropes that Annecy was caught right in the middle. He could go neither to the east, nor to the west. The two sons kept pulling as hard as they could on their ropes, until the feast were over and all the food was gone. When they went to find their father to see what had come when they pulled, they found that he now had a tiny waist, where the ropes had gone around his big belly. And that is why to this day, all spiders have a big head and a big body and a tiny little waist. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm going to tell you a story. A story of the Pepperback Princess. The Pepperback Princess. Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Ronald. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed the castle, burned all her clothes, and carried off Prince Ronald. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find was a paper bag. So she drew a paper bag and followed the dragon. Finally, Elizabeth came to the cave and she banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out and said,
Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole platter today. Come back tomorrow.
He slammed the door fast, but Elizabeth banged on the door again. The dragon stuck his nose out and said,
Go away! I have already eaten a whole platter today. Come back tomorrow.
But Elizabeth shouted, Wait! And asked the dragon, Is it true you can burn up 10 forests with a fire red rag?
Oh yes,
Said the dragon, and and burst so much fire that he burned out 50 forests. Fantastic, said Elizabeth. And the dragon, to another huge deep breath and burst so much fire that he burned out 100 forests. Magnificent, said Elizabeth. And the dragon, to another huge breath, but this time, nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to get a meatball. Finally, Elizabeth said, Dragon, is it true we can fly around the world just in 10 seconds?
Why, yes,
Said the dragon. And he jumped out and flew around the world just in 10 seconds. He was too tired, and he was so tired. But Elizabeth shouted, Fantastic! Do it again! And the dragon jumped out and flew around the world just in 20 seconds. When he got back, he was too tired to talk, and he lay down and went straight to sleep. Elizabeth whispered, Hey, dragon! The dragon didn't move at all, and Elizabeth let out the dragon's ears and shouted as loud as she could, Hey, dragon! The dragon was so tired that he didn't even move, and Elizabeth walked right over the dragon and opened the door to the cave. It was Prince Ronald. He looks at her and says,
Elizabeth, you're a mess. You smell like ashes, and your hair is all tangled, and you're wearing a dirty old plastic bag. Come back, princess, like a real princess.
Ronald, said Elizabeth, your clothes are very pretty, and your hair is very neat, and you're just like a real prince.
But you are a bum.
And they didn't get married after all. Thanks for your kind listening.
Good morning, judges and teachers. My number is 11. Today I'm going to tell you a story called The Gingerbread Man. A long, long time ago, an old woman and an old man lived a quiet life in a small cottage by the river. One day, the woman decided to make a gingerbread man for them to eat. She mixed the flour, butter, and eggs in a bowl, and then she rolled out the dough carefully. She then cut out a lovely gingerbread man and gave him blueberries for his eyes and buttons and icing for his mouth and clothes. The woman put him in the oven to bake. Soon enough, he was ready, and the woman opened the oven door. But to her surprise, the gingerbread man jumped right out of it. Don't eat me! He shouted in terror and ran out the window. The woman and the man started chasing after him. Stop! Stop! They shouted, but he was faster than they were. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man, he said, and kept on. As he was running, he came across a pig. The pig tried to take a bite out of him. But once again, the gingerbread man was faster. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. He laughed and kept running. The pig joined the chase, and now the old woman, the old man, and the pig were running after them. But the gingerbread man was faster. Further along the road, he came across a cow. Stop, called the cow. I want to eat you. But the gingerbread man started running again, and the cow couldn't catch him. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man, he said. It was not long before the gingerbread man came across a horse. Stop, little man, I want to eat you. But the gingerbread man outran him too. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. The horse joined the chase, and now the old woman, the old man, and the pig were chasing after him. But the gingerbread man only laughed at them. He got nothing until he reached the river banks. Oh no, now they will get me and eat me. If only I could cross the river, he thought. Suddenly, a fox snuck up to him. Please, don't eat me, the gingerbread man cried. I won't eat you, promised the fox. I just want to help you. Jump on my back and I will swim across the river and you will be safe. The gingerbread man had no other choice. So he jumped on the fox's back and they swam across the river easily and safely. As soon as they stepped on dry ground, the gingerbread man thanked the fox. But a second later, the fox opened his mouth and gobbled up the gingerbread man. The end. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon. I'm Chanel. I'm here to tell you guys a story about Beauty and the Beast. I hope you enjoy. Once upon a time, there was a young prince who refused to let an old woman get into his castle on a stormy night. But then he found out that the old woman was an enchantress. As punishment, she turned the prince into a beast and cast a spell on everyone in the castle. She gave a magic rose to the beast and said, "You need to learn to love a person and earn her love before the last petal falls. The spell will be stopped until your 21-year-old birthday. If you don't break it, you will become a beast forever." There was a village nearby. An inventor named Marius lived with his beautiful daughter, Belle. She was the best-looking girl in town. Even the strong and handsome guy, who every girl liked, loved him. His name was Gaston. One day, Marius set out for an invention. He was lost, so he had to seek into the beast's castle. Everyone was friendly, but the beast was furious when he saw him. And that is when Belle found out that her father was gone. Finally, she found her father in a freezing dungeon. So she told the beast that she would take his place. And that is the reason why the beast kept her as a prisoner. Meanwhile, Gaston was still boarding over Belle. He was sad. Suddenly, Marius raced in. He cried, "Help!" But everyone thought he was mad. Only Gaston smirked, because he had thought of a way to make Belle marry him. Later, Belle and the beast were getting closer. But Belle still missed her father. Although the beast loved her, he knew he had to let her go. So he did. She set out from the castle and soon found her father. The next day, Gaston arrived and said that her father will be taken. On these, she married him. Belle refused, which made Gaston very, very angry. So everyone in the village took a fight with the beast. But the beast was too heartbroken to fight. Only when he heard Belle's voice did he look up. "Belle, you came back!" he yelled it. Suddenly, Gaston stabbed at the beast in the back, and the beast fell. Belle ran to the beast and sobbed it. "I love you! You can't die!" Suddenly, the magic mist surrounded the beast. He became a handsome prince, and they lived happily ever after. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope you have a nice day. Bye!